What is up, guys, gals, and you awesome means and gamers of different shapes and sizes. This is me, Josh, Proxy, bringing you some Dawn of War 3 open beta today on the PC, and it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and want to subscribe for more Dawn of War 3 content in the future. But today is the day. The open beta has just come out, playing as some Space Marines. Obviously, one of my favorite races in Warhammer 40k. Would love to know what your favorite race is. There are so many, and there's a lot of people complaining that there's too much focus on Space Marines. I don't know if that's kind of a good thing or a bad thing, because I really like Space Marines. Space Marines are even actually the good guys in Warhammer 40k. Everyone kind of like has their good and their bads, right? I think that's how it is, but I'm a massive fan of Dawn of War. I have been a fan since the first one. We've got all the expansion packs for every single game, and it's really cool to see them go back to the original Dawn of War 1 formula, where it had base building into it. This is a really cool thing, because obviously in Dawn of War 2, they took that out for smaller little units, a bit more hero-based, a little bit more about, kind of like, would you class it as MOBA-ish? I guess you could class it as MOBA-ish, I'm not too sure, but now they've actually got higher unit populations. You've also got the base building, so you can be a bit more strategic in the game, and they're actually focusing a bit more on those hero units as well, so you actually have a multiplied kind of like selection of heroes that you can actually bring in, as you can see on the left side of the screen. So you actually have like loadouts now of different heroes, which is really cool. You actually have Gabriel Angelos of the Blood Ravens, which is kind of like a staple name throughout Dawn of War. He's been like one of the main characters, right, I believe, for the Space Marine campaign. But then you also have these brand new hero types as well, and they're all really cool, really fantastic. Really looking forward to trying out the Eldar and the Orcs. This is literally my first match playing some Dawn of War 3 open beta, and I had a really good time of it. Matches are really, really long. This is one thing to mention. And so what I wanted to do was, I wanted to make sure I could actually get through this match without boring you. So I've ended up speeding up the in-betweens and all the base building and the scouting and stuff like that, but then slowing down the combat. And that is because a lot of this game is kind of like No Man's Land. You know, like in World War II, you had that whole thing where it was like, people, both sides would basically kind of like sit at a stalemate, and you kind of wait to see who's going to make the first turn and stuff. And so you kind of do that. This is actually 3v3 as well, or is it 2v2? I always got a little bit confused about this, because it felt like there was only two of us, but at the same time I think there might have been three. I think this is 3v3. This must be 3v3, because I think there's like a yellow, there's red, white, and then there's my team, which is black, called the Emperor's Mercy. That's kind of like been my staple custom army page. This is one thing to mention as well, is that you can actually make custom color schemes again for all of your characters, which is really badass. But so much to talk about when it comes to Dawn of War 3. First things first, base building is back, but it's not as kind of like in-depth as the first game, and it does actually feel like, I don't know, it's really odd, because you do actually have base building in it, and it kind of helps you do like things like base expansion, so you can actually put buildings in the middle of the map and kind of like make little mini base outposts and stuff like that, like you could do in Dawn of War 1. But it's that thing where the units now still feel kind of like heroes. They kind of feel small, but there's more of them. It's really unusual. So like, even though you have Space Marines, there isn't like a shit ton of them. You know, it's kind of like you have like little squads of them. It's so odd to explain. I don't know if anyone else can kind of like relate to that, or kind of like understand if you play the open beta, or as you can see. But working together with my team, and we're actually a team of 3 Space Marines. I do believe this is actually 3v3 versus, I think it's Space Marines, Eldar, and Orcs, which is fantastic. So actually going against all of the races while playing as one single race for free combo. And as you can see, we're actually being really, really tactical here, trying to work together with my team, slowly pushing forwards. And that is pretty much what Dawn of War 3 is all about. You have different phases in Dawn of War 3 multiplayer too, which is very interesting, where basically, based on the kind of like time length that the matches are in, so say that you're actually in 10 minutes of a match, it'll be in phase 1, and that means that it's kind of like normal kind of resource gathering rates, or energy, and you know, things like that. While when you get to say like stage 4, where it's kind of like, I think that might be in about 20 minutes into a match, the resource rates are actually increase, and so it's actually make things faster. So it's kind of cool, really, because what they end up doing is they've ended up balancing it in a sense where people can't rush. It's not kind of like, say, StarCraft 2, where you can actually kind of like rush for resources and things like that. You can capture resources and such, but it's more about actually like having those little battles and everyone kind of like staying at the same pace, and I really like that. I think that's really cool. So as you can see on the top right of the screen, it does actually say the phase we're actually in, and that, as I said, kind of like balances everybody's kind of like resource rates and energy rates and, you know, upgrade rates and everything like that, which I think is really, really cool. So it means that everyone always has kind of like a balanced army, and everyone always has that kind of like same chance throughout all the fights, which is really badass, because you will find that when playing these multiplayer matches, and I played a few now actually, is that sometimes you'll think you're winning, and then they'll actually come back and actually really whoop your ass, or kind of like do some kind of like unusual tactic or strategy to get their own back on you, and it's really cool. I've been having having such a good time with it. It's really nice to feel kind of like I can be a noob, as you can see here. I mean, this is my first match. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing half the time. Still trying to get used to that whole micromanaging thing because I do suck at StarCraft 2. I loved StarCraft 2, but I was rubbish at it when it came to the whole APM thing, where it was like actions per minute, the keyboards and stuff. You don't have to do that in this. You don't have to worry about that at all. They've ended up making a really cool balanced system where you can actually just make units, and you just gotta make sure you can keep an eye on everybody. That's the only thing you have to do. Make sure that you actually have all your hotkeys for your little characters, so you know where all of your units are at the exact right time. Because that is one thing I'm getting really like fussed about when it comes to my own playstyle, is I forget where I put everybody. And so I'm wanting to get back into this game. Really, well, not this game, but this series, because I used to play it so much. I remember when my dad used to go out on like a night out on like a Friday or a Saturday when I was really young, and I'd play Dawn of War 1 like all night. I'd have like my can of Dr. Peppers, and I'd just play Dawn of War 1 multiplayer like all night. Or just the skirmish. The skirmishes were so cool. It's one of the few games where fighting the AI was like really fun, especially when you did those kind of like things where it was like free AI versus one, just at you, and it was just really badass. But as you can see, look, actually having a massive clash here against the Orcs, and I think there might be some Space Marines in there as well on the enemy team, but we're actually combining all of our units here, especially our heroes, so we're actually bringing in some Gabriel Angelos, the guy with the gigantic-ass hammer, and he has some amazing abilities. He has kind of like a lunge forward jump with a slam down. He also has like a whirlwind attack, which creates a force field to protect you from ranged attacks, and then there's also other heroes in there. You can actually bring in Titans now, which is so badass, and so you actually have some really cool hero units. You actually have specialized hero units as well, like the Librarian. You also have kind of like a kill squad. Terminators aren't their own unique unit anymore. They are actually a hero class, which is kind of good because they were really overpowered in the original Dawn of War. So it's kind of cool just to see them as like a unique kind of squad. You may notice again, as I said, I just kind of like sped up those little like in-betweens here, actually in one of those no man land moments where they're just kind of exchanging fire, which is really cool. These circular kind of like places on the map are actually kind of like heavy cover. So you may remember in Dawn of War 1 and also in Dawn of War 2, where you can actually, depending on the part of the environment you were standing, you actually have like high cover ground and stuff like that. And so what you do now is you actually take down these little like heavy cover areas and you create a barrier, and these barriers actually make you invulnerable on that higher point. It's not more just about hiding behind cover and getting some kind of bonus. It's now all about actually using aerial units, actually jump in there and stop people from using cover, which is kind of cool. I like that you actually have to have these counters to these little like hard cover points, which is awesome. So as you can see here, we are actually kind of like laying siege to them, but it's a thing where they can still defend themselves while we're laying siege. We're kind of like getting our units ready to pump it all in there and kick some serious ass. They're actually using whirlwind tanks here as well. One of my favorite units in Dawn of War was the whirlwind tank. And so what we're going to do here now is actually go around them. We can't actually go in from the front, so we're going to go up and around. We actually notice that they have this little outpost here, so we're actually going to sneak in from the side and see if we can take this. Slowing down that gameplay, as I promised, is going to be the massive long battle. Now this is where we take it for the win, because again, I want to try and bring you this match as fast as possible. Future matches will be like this as well. My fellow teammates bringing in their Predator tanks, which is really badass. Gabriel Angelos is standing there like a bouse in the background. The unusual thing as well is that he doesn't have that kind of like rally ability anymore. You do actually have a rally flag. I don't use it in this match, but you can actually use that ability, but it's not through Gabriel. Gabriel doesn't actually have a passive ability anymore. He does actually have a unique ability, which is where he can actually use drop pods. So when you actually bring down units via drop pods, which you can see on the bottom left of the screen there, picking a unit to bring down now actually, which is kind of cool. It's one of these things now where you actually have free drop pods. You put in the unit of your choosing by building them within it, and then you drop them down that way. So it's kind of like quick drop pods, which is kind of cool. But Gabriel Angelos' special ability is that you can actually use drop pods as healing points for all of his team. So if you do actually have a Gabriel on the field, it means that every single drop pod will actually be a healing thing, which is kind of cool. So you can actually spread those out and make all of your team get completely healed all the time, which is fantastic. As you can see here, using one of those hardcover points, capturing it, and it means that my units will actually be protected within that. We're actually going to rush in here because I'm actually using Assault Marines. Assault Marines obviously can do the jetpack and stuff, so combining those with Gabriel Angelos means that I can actually jump jet with him and all my Assault Marines there and actually whoop some serious serious ass, which is really, really cool. Again, trying to get used to the whole micromanaging thing. It's something that I'm not really used to. That lunge ability there by Gabriel, look, just it's so badass because it creates like a massive shockwave and just throws everyone everywhere. The whirlwind ability does that as well. The enemy team orcs here trying to do some, I don't know why they're sending in their own artillery here to get completely whooped. Now, when it comes to, oh, look at that, my teammate's actually doing it for a sandwich maneuver here, and that is the meat within that bread, which is that enemy whirl. I don't actually know what the orc version is called. It's not called a whirlwind, it'll be called something else, kind of like a wah whacker or something like that. But as you saw there, I had my teammates, own assault marines, go in there and actually go from behind and make it their bitch. And also the enemy Gabriel Gangelos there using the whirlwind ability there to create that force field, some really cool abilities. And again, there are multiple hero types. You also have that gigantic, you have the Titan, oh, it's just so badass. I just love that they brought that into this now. You can actually play that app game on iPhone and Android where you play as one of them, but now you actually get that as a unit, and I hope you get to see it in this one. I can't remember if you do or not, but really cool badass kind of like unit. You also have the, I can't remember what the Eldar ones are called either. It's so hard. It's kind of like the Avatar. Remember the Avatar in, was it called Khan? No, it was something like that from Dawn of War 1 with that gigantic fiery Eldar thing, but it's now these Titan versions of the Eldar units. And, oh, it's just really cool that you actually have these giant hero units like towering on the battlefield, and they're so kind of, I don't know, intimidating, you know? It's like one of those things where you want to get your units out of there when you see them because they have such massive health pools, but it's one of those things where if you can actually focus on all of them with your team, you can actually bring them down. I can see here, like, bringing in my own whirlwind tanks. Now, when it comes to the whirlwind tanks, this is something that actually kind of really annoys me, is that they don't work like they used to, where you can actually casually fire scattered shots at enemies. You actually now have to aim them at an opponent, which locks them on, and then you actually have to use the Q hotkey while having them selected to actually do a missile barrage, which is kind of annoying, which is kind of, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just another thing to micromanage, and I feel like I'd prefer it if the whirlwind tank would just attack automatically for me. So as you can see here, having to do it manually, setting off those missile barrages, that was so cool, so badass, taking down some of those enemy units, and again, it kind of like scatterfires as well, which is really badass, kind of like the original. Has a bit more of like a cluster bomb feel now, which is kind of cool, but I don't know, it's still like a thing where I prefer if they could just automatically attack, and then I could just leave them and not have to worry about them, kind of like passive artillery support like I'm used to in the old Dawn of War. I'm not too sure your opinion of that. But another thing to point out is that Dawn of War 3 is a little bit more like a MOBA now as well, where you actually have to take down the enemy kind of like core. This is one thing to mention, is that you don't actually take down enemy bases to win, you actually have to take down the enemy core, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if you can actually take down the base and that'll be the way of winning, but the main thing to do is go for the core. This is something to always focus on. They also have a battery and a turret, so as you saw there, they have this gigantic kind of like ancient turret kind of like thing. It's really weird. It's kind of like a tower, like in a MOBA, right? And so what you do is you have to try and take those down first, and then you go for the core. So we're just like work our way around slowly, and it's a kind of a cool idea. I mean, combining an RTS with kind of like a MOBA, I don't know, it's something that I never really thought about, and so having Dawn of War do that is kind of cool, because it means that things are a little bit more objective based, and again, it allows kind of like the team to build up their units while the enemy team is focusing on those kind of like stages of their base. So when they actually take down the turret, it means that you can actually have that little bit of a breather while they're focusing on that gigantic kind of like platform weapon to, you know, build up some form of reinforcement, which is really, really cool. My team here just like working together as one. Like, we've actually got this massive army, and we're actually ready to send this in and whoop some serious ass. Just like combining a little bit of fire here, again, a little bit of a no man's land moment. They're actually trying to drop in some of those little Terminator drop pods. I think there's actually a Terminator unit in there, and it might have been a Devastator, I'm not too sure. There's just so much to go and look at, you know, there's like so many units trying to like, it's again, look, I'm trying to like formation everybody, get everything micromanaged, get my whirlwind in the back, because obviously you don't want to get those blown up. And it's just so funny that you're having to do this again. You know, it's been so long since I played a game like this, and I'm really excited for the launch. And I would love to know if you're excited too, if you got this game pre-ordered. Would love to know in the comment section below. What is your favorite race? What is your favorite like Dawn of War game? Which do you prefer, the hero-based one in Dawn of War 2, or do you prefer the Dawn of War 1? We're actually going to send in all of our units here. Actually have some speeders there as well. I love the speeders in this game, especially when you have those meta cannons. They're so good, the meta melter cannons. Oh, it's so badass. But look at the dropships. There's so much aesthetics. There's massive battle going on now. This is going to get really freaking hectic, and it's so good to see all-out war again for Dawn of War. This is something that I missed from Dawn of War 2. I really did like Dawn of War 2, but it's just so cool to actually have this, like, immense, like, I don't know, the visual quality is just really badass. It just feels like a battle. It feels so good. It doesn't feel kind of like fake like it does in StarCraft. Like in StarCraft, everything died really quickly, everything had like health bars and stuff, but there's just these little animations and aesthetics, as mentioned, when it comes to Dawn of War, which makes everything feel so immersive. Like, I don't know, just something special about it. Do you agree? Do you not? I would love to know, but we are now pushing into the enemy base, trying to get to that final core, and oh, we're actually going to use one of this. This is the orbital bombardment. So what you can see here, you actually have to drop down like a satellite pod, and then you aim it at the enemy kind of lines wherever you want it. I'm actually trying to position it in the right place here, and you can actually control that. So the orbital bombardment now, you can actually move that around. You actually see my teammate doing this. This is actually the core here in the center, trying to just take it all out as fast as possible. The enemy team at the bottom not really contributing, it seems. He's kind of like trying to build up some forces for some reason, but he's actually like helping his team whatsoever. And my team just like completely whooping some serious ass here. Gabriel Angelos, I've even got my, I believe I've got some Terminators in there as well. We're all just trying to like focus fire on everything, try and whoop as much ass as possible. Again, look, so I had my Dreadnought. I had my Dreadnought like in the back. I think it was a Devastator Dreadnought. And it's just kind of like sat there, and I was kind of like, oh, I completely forgot about you. Again, you want to try and make sure you can micromanage all your units and hotkey everything. Just make sure that you can actually whoop as much ass as possible. And so I will get used to this. I will get practiced. I will try and be as badass as I can be. We'll try and show you some other races as well, which is obviously the Eldar and the Orcs. I think we might be at the end of this match, though. Would love to know in the comments below what you think to it, though. Dawn of War 3 open beta. You can sign up for it now and give it a go. And so I would love to play with you. If you want to play with me, I would love to play with you. If you can actually handle this on your computer, I'd be over the moon. I'd be over the moon to spend some time playing this game with you, because I love Dawn of War to death. But comment section below, let me know, what did you think to this match? What do you think to Dawn of War in general? Are you excited for the release? It's been me, Josh, though, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some Dawn of War 3 open beta on the PC, and it's been pretty freaking awesome. Oh my goodness, don't forget to drop a like as well if you enjoyed this video and want to subscribe for more Dawn of War 3 content in the future, but either way, ciao for now.